Your desire is not delayed because life is ignoring you. It is delayed because you keep interrupting it. That is the part no one wants to hear. You say it is done. Then you check your phone. You say you believe. Then you look for proof. You say you have assumed the end. Then you panic because nothing has changed yet. And every time you do that, you quietly return to the old state. The state of not having it. The state of waiting. The state of needing life to reassure you. This is why the thing you want feels close one moment and far away the next. You are not being punished. You are not being denied. You are not missing some secret technique. You are simply trying to control the path after claiming the destination. And that is the mistake. Because the fulfilled version of you does not manage the miracle. They do not beg the world for signs. They do not treat silence as failure. They do not watch every circumstance like it is deciding their future. Tonight, I want to show you the one shift that changes everything. How to assume the end. Release the way, and stop disturbing what is already moving in your favor. That is the whole lesson. Not 10 lessons. Not 7 steps. Not a long spiritual checklist. One lesson. Once you decide the end, your job is no longer to force the middle. Your job is to remain loyal to the state of already having. This is where so many people break their own momentum. They imagine the relationship. Then they spend the next day overthinking why the text has not arrived. They imagine financial freedom. Then they open the bank account in fear 5 times a day. They imagine success. Then they keep checking results to see if reality agrees. Do you see the pattern? They visit the state, but they do not live from it. And Neville was always pointing to living from it. Not touching it for a moment. Not borrowing it for 5 minutes. Living from it. There is a huge difference between thinking of your desire and thinking from it. Thinking of it still places it in front of you. It keeps it separate. It keeps it distant. It keeps you in pursuit. Thinking from it means you enter the feeling that it is already yours. You are no longer trying to get there. You are there. And from there, your whole inner posture changes. When you are still trying to get it, you become tense. You become observant in the worst way. You become sensitive to every delay. Every silence feels personal. Every closed door feels final. Every little inconvenience feels like bad news. But when you are in the end, life stops feeling like a test. You stop reading every moment like a warning sign. You stop acting like one wrong detail can destroy the outcome. You stop worshiping appearances. That is the freedom of the fulfilled state. You still live your day. You still answer messages. You still handle responsibilities. You still make decisions. But inwardly, something is different. You are no longer acting like someone who is hoping. You are acting like someone who knows. That inner knowing removes pressure from everything. A text becomes just a text, not a measurement of your worth. A quiet day becomes just a quiet day, not a message from the universe that you have failed. A temporary number in your account becomes just a number, not your identity. This is why emotional discipline matters. Because if you keep reacting to every outer movement, you keep re-entering the old self. And the old self is the one who does not have it. The old self needs constant updates. The old self needs evidence. The old self cannot rest unless the senses approve. But the new self is different. The new self can sit in silence without collapsing. The new self does not need to refresh, chase, or force. The new self knows that once the end is accepted, the bridge of events can unfold without panic. And that is the part many people resist. Because they want the end, but they also want to control the route. They want it to happen through one specific message, one specific person, one specific deadline, one specific sequence. And when life does not arrange itself that way, they become afraid. But consciousness is not that limited. Your fulfillment is not trapped inside one path. It can arrive through doors you have not even noticed yet. It can come through a delay that later makes perfect sense. It can come through a change that first looks wrong. It can come through a conversation you did not expect. This is why trying to control the middle is so exhausting. You are trying to do a job that does not belong to you. Your part is the state. The arrangement is not your part. Your part is the assumption. The orchestration is not your part. Your part is inner loyalty. The world's rearrangement is not your part. And the more you understand that, the calmer you become. You stop asking, where is it? You stop asking, why is it taking so long? You stop asking, did I do it right? Because those questions only come from one state. The state of not having. The state of doubt. The state of separation. The state of waiting. If you were already the person who had it, how would you move? That is the real question. Not what technique you should add. Not how many times you should repeat an affirmation. Not whether you should check one more time. How would you move if it were already done? You would be lighter. You would be steadier. You would not feel the urge to squeeze life for confirmation. You would not keep opening the wound by checking circumstances every hour. You would let the day unfold with more dignity. You would stop disturbing your own assumption. That is what I want you to catch. Every time you chase proof, you interrupt the feeling of completion. Every time you overreact to silence, you interrupt the feeling of completion. Every time you demand that the unseen show itself immediately, you interrupt the feeling of completion. And then you wonder why peace disappears. Peace disappears because you leave the end. You return to the middle. You return to fear. You return to management. And the miracle was never meant to be managed by fear. It was meant to be allowed by faith. So what do you do now? Very simple. You decide what is true. You accept it inwardly. You feel the relief of it. And then you stop digging it up every day to see if it is working. You stop standing over your desire like an anxious supervisor. You stop turning every delay into a bad omen. You stop making the outer world your source. Instead, you return again and again to the quiet fact that it is done. Not because the world has proved it yet, but because you have accepted it within yourself. That acceptance must become more important than appearances. That is how the state stabilizes. That is how the mind quiets down. That is how your reactions begin to change. And once your reactions change, your life starts to change. Because now you are no longer feeding the old version of yourself. You are no longer rehearsing lack. You are no longer practicing waiting. You are inhabiting completion. And completion has a silence to it. A calm, a stillness, a kind of inner authority. It does not shout. It does not beg. It does not argue with reality all day. It simply knows. That is the state you want. Not forced positivity. Not fake excitement. Not emotional performance. Quiet knowing. The kind that lets you put the phone down. The kind that lets you walk away from the bank app. The kind that lets you stop checking for movement every few minutes. The kind that lets you breathe. So tonight, make one decision. Stop managing the miracle. If you have assumed the end, honor that assumption. Let it be enough. Let your inner acceptance be enough. Let your peace be stronger than your urge to check. Let your faith be stronger than your habit of interference. And tomorrow, when the old impulse returns, notice it. Do not fight it. Do not fear it. Just remember what it really is. It is the old self trying to come back. And your only task is to not move back in with it. Stay in the end. Stay in the knowing. Stay in the version of you who already has it. Because the moment you stop disturbing the state, things begin to move with much more ease. And if this message resonated with you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, because what you learn next could change your life.